Hello, I'm Kendra Stoner, the Chief Public Information Officer for the Squamish-Lillooet Regional District. Today we have Greg Jackson, the Senior Distribution Field Operations Manager for the South Central District, and Whitney Dean, Community Relations Advisor for BC Hydro, with us to answer some important questions regarding the support and assistance BC Hydro is providing to the SLRD during these challenging times. Thank you two so much for joining me today. Let's dive right in. Greg, can you please provide a general update on power restoration in the affected areas in the SLRD where the power has been out for an extended period of time?
Oh, you betcha. Kendra can certainly do that. Yeah, as everyone is aware, it's been in a fairly extensive period of time here while the fire activity has happened. For a little bit of context, fire in two locations, the Casper fire more in the Bridge River area, Seton area, and then subsequent fire in Downton area and affected customers in that location. So we've made really good headway with our damage assessing. We're pretty much complete with identifying BC Hydro structures that are lost and developing our restoration planning. As people are aware, BC Hydro's 1-800-POWER ON. Like there's in our websiting, there's accurate customer outage information there, and to put that to numbers, right now we show or have 93 customers out in the West Gun Lake area, out in the Joy area, and subsequently 86 customers in the Tyotin Lake area. We are hoping tomorrow to do a partial restoration in the West Gun Lake area to shorten that number of 93 down to potentially 46 customers, so roughly in half. We are working with the Squamish-Lillooet Regional District as well as BC Wildfire Service to just get that approved. Anytime we're re-energizing an area after a significant amount of time, we want to ensure that the parties that are in there working get accustomed to kind of like a de-energized atmosphere. We want to make sure their safety is paramount. So if we get the green light with that, that is scheduled up for tomorrow for some restorations. Speaking of the Tyax area, that area requires a transmission line to feed the substation in that location, and the repairs to the transmission line are fairly extensive and are looking roughly the middle-ish part of September for restoration there. So folks in BC Hydro customers in the Tyax area will have a longer duration of the outage here. We do have distribution infrastructure there that we're going to be repairing at the same time. Those repairs will be completed prior to the transmission line being restored in that location. The area of Mission Mountain, and I think we have a picture here that we could share. It shows the extensive damage that we had to our transmission and distribution line that feeds basically feeds from the summit of Mission Mountain down towards Carpenter Lake. And in this picture here, you can see that the lines are basically laying across the ground. The fire activity in here took out all of these structures. This location is very rugged and inaccessible, mostly helicopter-driven restoration work. So our planning and due diligence for safety and geotechnical concerns, this will be quite lengthy, the repairs that we have to do in this section as well.
That's a great update.
Yeah, you bet. Crews are on the ground. We're moving into the West Gun Lake area with excavation resources and power line technicians as we speak. There'll be a lot of activity doing pole work and prepping up over the next number of days. So there'll be a significant amount of BC Hydro presence in the area. Beginning today. We have been in and out on a regular basis, but there'll be more of a sustained and larger presence.
Yeah, and thank you so much for all your work. You guys are doing great. Greg, just for those who unfortunately experience structure loss on their properties, we understand that BC Hydro is waiving electricity charges. Maybe Whitney, can you explain this a little bit further for us?
Yeah, so there's several different programs, and unfortunately, yes, for those who would have lost their homes, what we do have in place for that is We waive all electricity charges since the previous billing periods. That includes for electricity use prior to the evacuation order. And so that means for many, they won't be receiving a final bill for their account. And we do try to proactively monitor those evacuation areas and the properties that were lost. But if there's a discrepancy or if you have questions, I do ask that people don't hesitate to call that 1-800-BC Hydro number. So that's 1-800-224-9376. And that's a really important number too, because we have several other programs available as well. We have a bill credit program. We do try to proactively monitor evacuation orders year round to identify those lasting at least 5 days. And for many, this has gone on much longer. So we apply a credit to your account for the electricity consumed during the period you're out of your home or business is due to evacuation order. The credit applies to residential, small businesses, irrigation customers. If you're in a remote area, and many of you are, I'd also say to call into that number. And so that again is 1-800-BC Hydro, 1-800-224-9376. We also have a customer crisis fund that's for residential customers facing temporary financial crisis. They may be eligible for the grant. They're up to $600. They're applied directly onto your BC Hydro bill against the amount owing. The grant doesn't need to be repaid. And there is a list of criteria to meet as well. And so again, I'm going to repeat that number to have someone run through that criteria with you. It's 1-800-BC Hydro, 1-800-224-9376. And if you search up BC Hydro Help for Evacuees, you'll also find the website as well. So I'll just show it for you here. And here it gives you a rundown of the different programs and then also contact information as well. And so hopefully that's helpful for people as they move through this.
That's terrific, Whitney. Thanks for that update. And on that website, you can find bill payment plans that BC Hydro offers for those returning home, correct?
Yes, that and bill deferment. So it's a catch-up plan. So anyone who's experiencing some hardship because of this, we do have many different ways to walk through this with you. And so that's where it is to give that number a call and people can walk you through your different options.
Terrific. Greg, did you have any other updates that you wanted to provide? Any up-and-coming updates that the public might want to know about?
Yeah, a couple of points that come to mind as part of our damage assessment. Minto Communications is some critical infrastructure in the area, and I'm sure that some folks are aware that the power line that feeds the site at West Gun Lake is a private power line, not a power line that's owned or maintained by BC Hydro. We connect to it at the road level, but the line meanders up to the site. While our resources were there doing damage assessing, we did do a cursory inspection of that line and have indicated there is substantial damage to that. So I'd just like to let folks know that they're responsible for that infrastructure, that we have some information we could share, but they would need to engage with power line contractor for repair work there. So that would be one point. Another point is we're all aware the roadways are quite narrow in the area, and as our crews are working to do restoration work, if there is limited releases of people to come back to the area, we will have traffic like road closures in certain sections on West Gun Lake Road to set poles and string new conductor up for part of the restoration. So would be some potential delays in traffic traveling down the road at certain times. So.
Perfect. Thanks, Greg. And Whitney, any last words?
I just want to say that our thoughts are with people there. I know this has been an extended outage, which means it's been stressful for many people. We're doing our best to restore power, and we thank everyone for the patience that they've had through this.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, Whitney and Greg, and providing these valuable insights. Your support is greatly appreciated in the SLRD as we work together to recover and rebuild these communities. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks very much and have a great day.
Thanks, Kendra.
Thank you.
Thank you.